GABAN'S trust in the next generation. Hello, One Piece enthusiasts. I'm the One Piece nerd, and today let's talk about One Piece chapter 1140. And to be honest, the fight went just the way I expected it to go. Nothing more fancier than this, and of course, the rest of the chapter are filled with more Holy Knights arriving in Marijua, guaranteeing us that this is going to be an exciting arc. Now, before we move on, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. Now that you have, let's begin. With the fight, of course, the only notable thing to mention about the fight was Gaban is pretty strong. And there are a few things that I think Luffy could learn from Gaban. Granted, Luffy already has weaknesses that needs to be highlighted. For example, Luffy's short-tempered, that messes up with his hockey skills and his ability to control Gear 5 more stamina. Stamina will come if he keeps on fighting a little more. I expected Luffy to get some sort of a lesson on an advanced form of hockey, which obviously Gaban knows, but Luffy isn't going to learn right now. But the most notable thing to mention is Luffy's lack of concentration when he gets short-tempered, especially mentioning Shanks. With fights that are coming up, specifically with Blackbeard and maybe if Akainu as well as Im, if Luffy does eventually know what Imu has done to the world, Luffy will be enraged. Luffy enraged sometimes is good, but the fact that the times when he gets short-tempered is when he gets beaten up the most, aka now, and of course we've also seen him with Blackbeard getting angry at the fact that Blackbeard took down Ace and sent him to Impel Down. So the point of the matter is, Luffy needs to improve on this. The highlight of this is that Gaban entrusts Luffy the same way Shanks does, and it's Gaban's way of showing respect to the next generation. Maybe Gaban knows that Loki maybe was a bad person. Maybe Loki is going to end up destroying Elbaf, but he still trusts Luffy to change the outcome because Shanks, maybe? Of course, Shanks did come and visit Gaban, and that's how we now connect back to, meeting old friends. Shanks said to trust Luffy on this. Gaban said, how could I? Shanks said you could do whatever you want with it. And I think he's done exactly what's needed to be done. Luffy's conviction towards Shanks, towards his promises, his intentions, and of course his crew always abiding by him. And I think those were the more highlighting points and reminds you the same way as it does with Roger. And I think that's the same thing that impressed Rayleigh. So I think the point still stands that, Luffy and his ability to make friends or make allies out of people and make people believe in him is one of his strongest qualities, and this is one of those examples. Now, of course, next chapter, I do expect Loki to be released. Do I expect any more conflicts? Of course I expect conflicts. I expect conflicts from the Holy Knights, and news on the docket is Shamrock is being sent to Marijua because after Reveille, the revolutionary armies did quite a bit of damage to the Tenryubito, and now they're in a lack of food supply. And I mean, it has to be mentioned, the standards of food supply for world nobles pretty much outclasses everyone else in the world. If the world can last with, let's say, if there is X amount of food, if the world can make it last 10 days, the Tenryubito can make it last 2 days maximum. And I guess, but that's still a problem, and they have to come up with a solution. Hence, Shamrock is being sent to Marijua, and he's going to be sent to Marijua with the cycle, with the demon circle, or whatever, the abyss you call it. Now, the abyss, the ability in and of itself, I don't think is only for Gunko. I think it's allocated to specific members of the Five Elders as well as World Nobles, because we've seen the Gorosei use it, and we've seen Gunko use it. We don't know if it it's definitely not a devil fruit ability because Gunko's ability is arrows, and this has nothing to do with it. And we don't know, this could be hinting towards a third source of power, which is like demonic, or rather, we have devil fruits that are powers of devils in fruits, but rather there are literal devil powers or demonic powers that exist within the One Piece world, and that's what the Holy Knights are using. That's my speculation as of now. Now, Shamrock being sent, I guess, makes sense because Shamrock seems to be an endgame opponent. Luffy hasn't even met Shanks yet. Meeting Shamrock right now wouldn't really make much of a sense. Rather, facing off against Shamrock's comrades is a fair enough challenge. I don't expect the Holy Knights to be stronger than the Gorosei, but they will be equally strong, and I think, yeah, Luffy and the others have to step up to the challenge. And as for the rest of everything of the chapter, I do have a hypothesis that Loki is going to be released next chapter, as I said before, and what that might entail, I don't know. Loki needs a separate analysis video, maybe after a few more chapters if we get more screen time with him. But right now, it's very hard to say what Loki's goals are, and we already have a conflict arising with the Holy Knights being here, trying to kidnap the children of Elbaf. And then you release, on top of that, you release Loki, and that might create a lot of problems. With that being said, of course, to be honest, that's it for the chapter. There's nothing much else to talk about. I am going to make a separate video on Blackbeard because it's been a while I haven't talked about him. But that's going to take a bit of time because it needs brainstorming. But that's it for the video, guys. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Have a great day, and peace.